Welcome into a joyous SoFi Stadium where for the second year in a row, a team has won the Super Bowl at their home stadium. This year, it's the Los Angeles Rams who bested the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20. I'm Liz Loza with Charles Robinson and Shalise Manza Young. Shalise, let's talk about the way the Rams unabashedly built this team for a very narrow, some might say, window.
They really did, and obviously it paid off. We heard for weeks and months that they were all in, and they pushed all their chips to the table, and it paid off. You know, they went and got Matthew Stafford. I don't think they pick in the first round until 2024, but you know, who needs first-round picks?
No, not with this squad. Von Miller, obviously a very important addition with 2 sacks this evening. OBJ exited the game early, but still got his early on. So, Charles, who does need draft picks when you're the Los Angeles Rams?
Well, they don't. I mean, they've done a really good job. Their personnel has been able to find talent in later rounds. They sort of take a vacation early in drafts, and they say, hey, this is what we pay you for. Go find talent that we don't necessarily have to pay because we're so top-heavy and we have this multitude of other players. But another thing, too, about how they were built that maybe people don't talk about enough, remember, they dumped Jared Goff's contract. They dumped Todd Gurley's contract. These were 2 of the worst contracts in the league, and they dumped them essentially in back-to-back years. To be able to accomplish that, flip the team, and then not only flip it by picking up what were sort of cheapish stars, Von Miller. The Denver Broncos paid part of Von Miller's salary for him to come out here and win a Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns paid part of Odell Beckham Jr.'s salary for him to come out here and win a Super Bowl. Being able to pick up very useful players, top caliber players at cheap prices, that gets you ahead in the NFL.
So it was Von Miller, OBJ, and Matt Stafford who put this team over the hump, but Cooper Kupp, homegrown talent, capped off maybe the best wide receiver year in NFL history.
Well, I think he probably had the best single statistical season, and I think capping it off with a Super Bowl, you can even say in terms of success in history. 2,425 yards in 21 games, 22 touchdown passes, AP All-Pro, AP Offensive Player of the Year. He got an MVP vote, Super Bowl MVP. I mean, I don't think there's any question when you look at the totality of that. It's going to be hard for any wide receiver to top that, even with the 17th game. But imagine that. You didn't just go 17 games. You went 17 and then a full 4
and then
run
a full 4,
in the playoffs. Yeah, and by the way, they planned for him tonight. They had to stop him tonight. OBJ went out, and one of the things that Sean McVay said was you could see them immediately. As soon as OBJ was out, it was all completely sucked onto Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And still they overcame it.
Yeah, the Bengals players talked, the cornerbacks talked after the game about how they did. As soon as Odell went out, they put a lot more focus on Cooper Kupp, and they just weren't able, especially in that last drive, they moved him to the outside. Instead, he was playing more in the slot before OBJ got hurt, moved him to the outside, and they still just couldn't find an answer for him. And going up-tempo on that last drive, one of the Bengals players said it rattled us.
Oh, that's an interesting admission. I'm going to go back to you to cap it off because we started talking about the way this team was built. There are some pretty hefty salaries on the defensive side of the ball. Do you think this team can try to repeat with its current personnel?
You can always try, but eventually all those bills come due. You know, there was rumors or reports before the game that if they won, Aaron Donald might retire. Charles might have some information on that, but who knows if that's legitimate or if it's some kind of ploy. But this is what happens, you know. Every team is different from year to year. It can't, you know, the Buccaneers tried it. It was amazing that they were able to bring, I think it was, you know, all 22 starters back this year. But that's exceedingly rare, and especially when you have so much money wrapped up in so few players as the Rams do, it's almost impossible to sustain that.
Yeah, look, financially, there's going to be a lot of work to do here. Okay, Aaron Donald, he's going to retire to think about his contract. Okay, that's what he's going to retire to. He's going to retire to the negotiating table and say, the best defenders in the game are making $27 million per year right now. I'm on a $20 million per year clip, and I should probably be making 20% more than the highest paid defensive player right now. He should be a $30 million defender. That's going to be a headline going into this offseason. That's, I think, where this retirement talk comes from. I liken this to a college party. You stay up all night, you do a lot of things you're probably going to regret, and then you deal with it the next day. That's what this team's going to have to do. Ultimately, they're going to have to build it all into this window and down the line pay the price.
And there was even Sean McVay, you know, floated the idea. He's apparently getting married this summer, and, you know, this is such an all-encompassing thing for me. I'm so passionate about it, but I want to be with my family. So,
he's giving himself some wiggle room.
Right,
you know,
right. I mean, at 36 years old, are you going to retire? Probably not,
no,
but
the Rams organization certainly has an expensive year coming up, but there's no denying that today for Super Bowl 56, it is a very rich moment for the Los Angeles Rams.